Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to begin looking at the foundations of Lean Six Sigma and how organizations actually use these methods to improve processes, reduce defects, and improve customer satisfaction. Up to this point in the course, we've discussed quality management concepts and some historical quality perspectives. Today, we begin tying those ideas into a structured process improvement methodology that is heavily used throughout industry. What I want you to take away from today's lecture is a solid understanding of the core Lean Six Sigma concepts and tools organizations use to solve real operational problems. We're going to explore several foundational ideas, including MAIC, voice of the customer, cost of poor quality, SIPIC diagrams, fishbone analysis, Pareto analysis. We'll also apply these tools to a manufacturing case study so you can see how they work together in practice. As you move through this lecture, pay attention to how structured Lean Six Sigma really is. Organizations don't guess at solutions. They collect data, identify root causes, prioritize problems, and systematically improve processes. That disciplined approach is what makes Lean Six Sigma so powerful. Lean Six Sigma is really the combination of two different improvement philosophies. Lean focuses on eliminating waste and improving flow. The idea is to remove activities that do not add value to the customer. Six Sigma focuses more on reducing variation and reducing defects. It's heavily data-driven and statistical in nature. When you combine them together, you get a very powerful improvement methodology that focuses on quality, efficiency, consistency, and customer satisfaction. A simple way to think about it is, Lean removes waste. Six Sigma reduces variation. Lean Six Sigma has a clear purpose. Organizations use it to reduce defects, improve consistency, lower costs, increase throughput, and strengthen customer satisfaction. Quality and profitability are directly connected. When quality is poor, organizations face scrap, rework, delays, warranty claims, and ultimately lost customers. But when quality is high, processes run more efficiently, waste goes down, and operational costs drop. A core principle of Lean Six Sigma is continuous improvement. Organizations strive to build a culture where employees at every level are always looking for ways to refine, streamline, and strengthen the processes around them. Modern organizations operate in highly competitive environments. Customers expect high quality, fast delivery, consistency, and reliability. And when companies fail to meet those expectations, customers often go elsewhere. Lean Six Sigma provides a structured method for improving operations while reducing waste and defects. It gives organizations a disciplined way to solve problems instead of relying on guesswork. It's also important to understand that Lean Six Sigma is not just for manufacturing. It's widely used across many industries, including healthcare, logistics, finance, supply chain, service industries. Wherever there are processes, Lean Six Sigma can help improve them. Throughout the rest of this lecture, we're going to use a manufacturing example involving a CNC machining department that produces precision bearing housings for industrial pumps. Recently, customers have reported issues such as improper fit, vibration, and premature bearing wear. These problems signal that something in the process isn't performing the way it should. When the company investigated further, they discovered that 8% of all bearing housings are being rejected during final inspection. That level of scrap and rework is costly, and it's also causing delivery schedules to slip. Because of these issues, management has launched a Lean Six Sigma project to improve the process. As we move through the lecture, think about how each Lean Six Sigma tool helps the organization. Understand the problem, collect information, identify root causes, improve the process. This example shows why Lean Six Sigma matters. It gives organizations a structured, evidence-based way to diagnose issues, reduce defects, and make better decisions. In lean thinking, one of the most important concepts to understand is the idea of waste, the activities that consume time, money, or resources without adding value for the customer. Lean identifies 8 major types of waste, often remembered with the acronym downtime. Defects, work that is incorrect or incomplete. Overproduction, making more than what's needed. Waiting, idle time when work is stalled. Non-utilized talent, not using people's skills and ideas. Transportation, unnecessary movement of materials. Inventory, excess materials or work in process. Motion, unnecessary movement by people. Extra processing, doing more work than the customer requires. As we continue through the lecture, keep these wastes in mind. They are the foundation of lean improvement, and recognizing them is the first step toward building more efficient, more reliable processes. Let's take a moment to review the DMAIC framework, the structured method used in Lean Six Sigma to drive process improvement. D. Define. Identify the problem and understand customer requirements. This step sets the foundation for the entire project. M. Measure. Collect data and evaluate current performance. Here, we quantify what's really happening in the process. Analyze. Identify the root causes of problems. We look deeper to understand why defects or inefficiencies occur. Improve. Implement solutions that address those root causes. This is where change happens, where ideas become action. C. Control. Sustain improvements over time. We make sure the gains are maintained and the process doesn't slip back. DMAIC provides a disciplined, data-driven approach that helps organizations solve problems systematically, not through guesswork, but through evidence and continuous improvement. Let's look at how the DMAIC framework applies to our bearing housing example. Define. Customers have reported defective bearing housings. That's our starting point, understanding the problem from the customer's perspective. Measure. We collect defect rates and machining measurements. This data helps us see how the process is performing today. Analyze. Using fishbone analysis and Pareto charts, we identify the root causes behind the defects. This step tells us why the problem is happening. Improve. We adjust tooling and standardize setup procedures. These changes help eliminate variation and improve product quality. Control. Finally, we monitor the process using SPC charts and audits to sustain improvements over time. This example shows how DMAIC provides a clear, structured path from problem identification to lasting process control. The voice of the customer, or VOC, captures what customers truly expect and require from an organization. It's the foundation of quality improvement because it tells us exactly what matters most to the people we serve. VOC information comes from sources such as complaints, surveys, returns, and interviews. These insights help organizations set priorities for improvement and focus their efforts where they'll have the greatest impact. In our manufacturing case study, the VOC highlights delayed shipments and defective bearing housings, clear signals that customers are dissatisfied. By listening carefully to the voice of the customer, organizations can align their processes to meet expectations and strengthen customer trust. This slide shows a real voice of the customer example from our bearing housing case study. Customers are reporting several issues that directly affect product performance and reliability. They're seeing oversized holes and poor fit during assembly, which means the parts don't meet their expectations right out of the box. Assemblies are requiring excessive rework before installation, adding time, cost, and frustration. Customers also report vibration during operation, which is a serious indicator of quality problems. And on top of that, late deliveries are disrupting their production schedules. All of these complaints highlight what customers care about most: reliability, consistency, and on-time delivery. By listening to the voice of the customer, organizations can focus their improvement efforts on the issues that matter most.